Hello and welcome to Tony's Math Hacks, the show in which I share with you some of my favorite mental math tricks. I'm your host Tony and you're watching the channel Tony Talks About Math. In this particular video, I'd like to talk with you about turning fractions into decimals without having to resort to a calculator or something like that. Why would you want to be able to do this? Well, it's fun. Let's just go ahead and have a look at it. Right now, I'd like to focus on fractions that are related to 1/3 and 1/9. Now, these we pretty much know what their decimals look like. 1/3 is 0.3333 repeating, or if I may, 3 with a bar over it. So that's how we indicate that the 3 is repeating. And 1/9 is 0.1 repeating. So that's great as far as it goes. And of course, we can also talk about 2/3 is 0.6 repeating. And any number of ninths, like if you want 5/9, for example, you get 0.5 repeating. And that's all great. But where it gets interesting is that we can use these to talk about other fractions whose denominators are related to 3 and 9. And by related, I mean you can get them from 3 and 9 by just multiplying in some 2's and 5's. So what numbers are products of 3 and 9 with 2 and 5? Well, I'm talking about fractions that are over 6, over 12, over 15, over 18, over 24, over 30, etc. There are lots of denominators that are just a 3 or a 9 times some 2's and 5's. So what is it that makes these so nice to work with? Well, let's start with 15. Suppose you want to know 2/15 as a decimal. So here's 2/15, and the trick is we're going to think of 15 as 5 times 3, and we have a 2 on top. Now, since 5 goes into 10, we can turn that into a 10 by multiplying another 2 in the denominator. So if we throw in an extra 2, then we have to throw in an extra 2 on top, and that's 2 times 2. Now, this is the same as 1/10 times 4/3. 1/10 is great because it's accomplished by just moving the dot. 4/3 is 1 and 1/3, so this is 1/10 of 1.3 repeating, which means it's 0.13 with the 3 repeating, and that's 2/15. So anything with one of those denominators I mentioned, you can do this sort of trick with. Let's say we want to think about 7 over 24. Well, let's do something similar. 24 is 3 times 2 times 2 times 2. And we have a 7 on top. Now, in order to turn all those 2's into 10's, we need to bring in 5's to pair with them. So let's throw in 5 to the 3rd power on the bottom, which is 125, by the way. Now we have that 7/24 is the same as 1/1000th. That 1,000 comes from 2 times 5 times 2 times 5 times 2 times 5. Of some number of thirds. How many thirds is that? 125 times 7. So that's 700, and 725's, think of 7 quarters, that would be 175. So we're up to 875 over 3. Now we just need to divide 3 into 875, so I guess that's going to equal, let's see, 3 goes into 8 2 times, so we have 200, and then 275 left over. So there's a 90, that'll account for the 270, and 3 into 5 goes once, and then there's 2/3 remaining. So 291.6 repeating is what you get when you divide 875 by 3. We want 1/1000th of that. So times 1 over 1000. And that equals 0.291, and then the 6 is repeating. And that is a great way to think about fractions with some peculiar denominators that you might never memorize the decimal expansions to, but here's a pretty quick way to find them. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this trick. Thanks for watching Tony's Math Hacks. I'll see you next time.